So I'd flown overnight from Boston to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and really just planned today on doing some light yoga to stretch out and relax after the overnight flight. But when I got into it, I noticed there was quite a big difference between my left and right hip, and I'd slightly injured my hip while dancing on Saturday night. So once I got into it, I really noticed had a bit of an injury there that I didn't want to ignore. So after my normal yoga practice, that was probably about 15 minutes or so, I sat back down again, and as you can see here, I'm just really exploring and delving into that hip. So rather than pushing it out of consciousness, out of awareness, which would be an impediment to healing, I'm really making sure that I'm aware of what's going on there physically and emotionally, to keep my energy focused there, keep my awareness focused there, and really make sure I bring that on a path to healing. And you can see here a while later, kind of getting deeper into the awareness of the hip here. And here I've found the point that has maximum intensity, and I'm just making sure I stay there for a while. So rather than shying away from the pain, bringing as much awareness as I possibly can there. And I'm not trying to fix it or massage it or stretch it out, so it's not therapeutic in a traditional sense. It's much more about bringing my awareness into my hip joint. And here you see I've gotten even more directly connected, and I'm just spent probably 10 or 15 minutes just not changing anything, not trying to fix anything, just with my awareness in there to keep that kind of healing awareness there. And after a while for that, the hip joints are very much related to weight bearing and standing and trust. So I got on a stool so I could explore the weight bearing. It's a little hard to see because it's so subtle, but I'm actually exploring the weight bearing through my left ball of my left foot, up through my left knee, up through my left hip, and then up through my ribs as well. So starting to explore the weight bearing aspects through the left hip as well. When I injured my knee a year ago, I avoided weight bearing on my left hip, and I actually habitually hiked up my left hip. But here you'll see after the shifts and the healing I've done on my knee recently, my hip alignment is totally horizontal, and it hadn't been that way for 10 months. And now again, you can see I'm exploring the weight bearing through the balls of both feet, the big toes on both sides, and comparing the weight bearing up through both knees and hips. Again, not to fix anything, but just to be aware of it. And that's really all it takes. There's no big change, no big catharsis, but I'm just keeping my awareness in my hip. And when then I'm done, I go back and just explore. You can see the hip now is much more open and much more fluid than it was when I started. There's more to do here, but the process of healing is in progress now.